Hey, it's Ken and Gina here from OKportugal, and welcome to another episode of Portugal Farm Life. Now, if you've been watching our programs for a while, you'll know that we recently harvested this olive grove. We have a 3.5 hectare farm in central Portugal with around 100 olive trees, and it's a lot of work to get all of those olives off the branches. But fortunately, we have amazing neighbours who pitched in to help us, and they brought their harvesting equipment too, making the whole process a lot easier than if Gina and I had tried to do it alone and by hand.
After lots of hard work, we ended up with around 3 pickup truckloads worth of olives this year, and our neighbour Joaquin dropped them off at the olive press to be pressed into oil.
So today we want to collect our olive oil, and we're not going to film the whole process of how olive oil is made because we actually did that last year when we collected our olive oil. Now, if you haven't seen that, go and have a look at this video just up here, and you can see that whole process. Now, we're just on our way to our next door neighbour's farm. He helped us drop the olives off, and because of that, he's got the documents or the tickets that show exactly how much the olives weighed and how much oil we're going to get back from the lagar. So we're just going to go there now. We're going to go and pick him up. But look at this for a stunning day. I mean, we're in January, which is the coldest month. It's winter, and yeah, sure, I mean, we've got like a, like a hoodie and a top on. That's only because there's a little bit of wind. In the actual sunshine,
It's glorious.
it is glorious. So Joaquin is our neighbour, and he's a sheep dairy farmer. He produces milk that goes into a very famous regional cheese called Serra cheese, and he helps us with a lot of things on our farm. And in return, we share our harvests, and we also give him space where he can graze his sheep on our fields. So last year we harvested 1,730 kilograms of olives, and apparently that was a record. That was our first year that we actually harvested on the farm. And our neighbour Joaquin, who had been looking after our farm for a number of years, said that the record that they ever got off that farm was 1,500 kilograms. So last year we broke that record by 230 kilos. And basically we ended up with 167 litres of oil. So this year we are sitting on, what was it, 2,000 and something? We've completely smashed the record again, which is pretty amazing. And I think this is partly because of the fact that we've got bees. And there were never any bees in the land before that, and all around the area where the bees are, we've noticed that those are the trees that have the most amount of olives. And obviously when the olive blossoms come, the bees are pollinating those, and that's one of the reasons. And the other reason is because we haven't been pruning our olive trees, and they haven't actually been pruned since we arrived on the farm 2 years ago. So this year we have to prune them. When you prune olive trees, that year they will not produce very many olives at all. But if you don't prune them, then you end up with a really difficult olive tree to harvest. You've got to get that shaker up on the tree. It's really high up, and it just becomes a really hard job. And there's also another reason behind it as well, and that's if there's no airflow through the tree, then you start to get like funguses and things start to go wrong with that plant. So you want to keep the tree nice and healthy, and make sure that you do keep them pruned, but you don't want to prune them too much, otherwise you won't be able to get enough olives. It's like a balancing act. So you have two options when you drop off your olives at the lagar. You can drop it off and wait for them to press only your exact olives into your own exact olive oil. Or you can drop it off and you don't have to wait, and it gets pressed with everyone else's, and you pick it up a few weeks later. Now, because we don't have a truck to drop off our olives, Joaquin, our neighbour, did it for us, and we can't expect him to wait around the whole day just to get our own olives pressed. There are very long queues at these presses during harvest time, and it can take a whole day just to get a slot, as they have to clean the machine each time they press someone's olives. Now, we aren't too bothered about our olives being mixed in with other local farmers, because at the end of the day, it's all the same sunshine, it's the same soil, and it's the same rain. And from what I've seen from all of my neighbours, they don't use chemicals, pesticides, or poisons. The oil we got last year was fantastic, so I'm not all that bothered about not having exactly the same oil that came exclusively from our olives. So I'm at the lagar now, and I didn't realize we were going to have that many olives. Obviously, we've broken the record from last year. Last year, I could have got 33 tubs inside this car, but now we're going to get a lot more. So imagine this is 2 liters, okay, and of these, I can get about 10 going across and about 3 going this way, okay. So imagine now I've got to get like 200 liters inside here. It's going to have to go on this, and this thing's at an angle. I thought this went flat, and because it's not flat, we're not going to be able to pack it. So that's a little bit of a disaster, you know. I thought that we were going to be able to put it all in the back of this Golf. It's going to weigh about 200 and something kilos. It's not the end of the world. It's like having 2 big rugby players in the back. But no, this isn't going to work. So I think we're going to have to come back another day with a pickup. Fortunately, Joaquin did say that he would go with us another day, but today he's a little bit busy. So when you first arrive with your olives, you basically drive with your car or your pickup onto this thing. It's a weigh bridge. And they basically weigh your car, and then they give you a ticket. And then you drive through, and you go and drop your olives off. And then you come back, you weigh the car again, and then they can work out the difference. And that's how they know what the sort of tonnage of your olives are. And then you get a ticket for that, and you come back in a few weeks, show them the tickets, and they tell you exactly how much oil you're going to get. And then they give you the option of either taking the oil, and they basically fill it into like containers for you, or they'll buy it off you. Now the buyback price is obviously not that much because you know, it's wholesale, so you're going to get a lot more for your money if you you know, if you sell it yourself. But I think last year the buyback was about $3.50 a litre or something like that. So it's not too bad a price really. So we're leaving empty-handed, but all is not lost. Joaquin, our neighbour, will come to the rescue again. He did say, look, if you can't get it all in your Golf, then let me know. I mean, he obviously knew it wasn't going to happen. But I thought for some reason that these seats were going to go properly flat and we could, you know, load it up, but no. So yeah, so I think he said in about a week or two he's going to be able to help us. So that's pretty awesome. And you know, it's always nice to get something back from your land, because you know, you own a piece of land, you own a farm, and it's awesome to have these harvests and then to actually get something back that's tangible, that you can sell, that you can trade, that you can give away as gifts, that you can consume yourself. Yeah, speaking of trading or selling, let us know in the comments below if you are interested in buying some OKportugal olive oil. We want to know where you're from. So say, you know, I'm in Canada and I'm looking for a litre or half a litre or whatever it is, so that we can start working out, you know, what our viewers are after and what sort of prices it's going to cost to send it to those countries. Obviously, we've got to courier something that's quite dense and quite heavy, so you know, we have to work out what it's going to cost and see if it's actually worthwhile for us to ship it out to people. And you know, the quality of the stuff is really good. I'm not just saying that. It's, you know, my whole life it's like we've had supermarket olive oil, and it's completely different stuff. It's a different color. You know, this is almost like a greenish color. It's very thick, it coagulates. Like when you first get it, it almost turns into like a jelly, and I thought that there was something wrong with it, but apparently that's a sign of a really high quality oil. And it's got a really strong flavor, you know, a really nice strong flavor in comparison to the supermarket stuff that we've had. I've heard that there's a lot of food fraud that actually goes on, and that a lot of olive oil isn't even, like, it's not even real stuff. So perhaps that's what I've been having my whole life. So yeah, if you're interested in some OKportugal olive oil, let us know in the comments below. We'll probably be marketing it on our Etsy store, and I'm going to put a link to the Etsy store somewhere up on the top of the screen here and in the description just below the video. We've got other merchandise there. We've got like our stickers, OKportugal fridge magnet stickers, t-shirts, bags, anything else, sweatshirts, hoodies, stuff like that. So yeah, so check it out. So I'm just back on Joaquin's farm. I'm going to give him these slips back for the olives so that we can go, I think he said in about a week or so, but just check this out. He's just in one of his fields here, and he's with all of his sheep, and he's just on the way here. How pretty does it look? It's all green and looks amazing. The last time I filmed here on his farm, it was just all dry and dusty and desolate. It was like the hot summer. So it's amazing what a difference a couple of months make. All right, so he's gonna give us a hand on Tuesday. I'm gonna hold on to these papers, and then we'll get our oil, and then I'll take a little bit of video so you can actually see the whole quantity of what we got. So things didn't really work out as planned, but sometimes that happens on OKportugal. Now those are some guard dogs. Look at those. You definitely wouldn't want to mess with those dogs. They're not kept in a cage, don't worry. They're actually in that little spot right now because the sheep are being moved around. And then as soon as the sheep are all locked up, then they basically have free range of the farm. But yeah, you definitely wouldn't want to hop over that fence and end up face to face with one of those dogs, because those things are seriously scary. And just across the road is our terribly scary guard dog. Look at this. Dog, look at you. Are you a terribly scary guard dog? I actually joke, but he can actually be quite scary. If he doesn't know who you are, he looks quite scary, believe it or not. Oh, and this is the other one. Look at this for a little terror. She's definitely not scary. But Dog on the other hand, when he's snarling and spits flying out of his mouth, he does look rather terrifying. And this is going to be our terrifying dog. Look at this. Hello. Oh my goodness. Hello. 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 This is our little Serra Estrela puppy. So, middle of winter, doesn't look too bad here, huh? It's still, well, when there's not a cloud on the way, there's still sun in your eyes. And yeah, it's still beautiful. Unlike England, where I was for 17 years, and there was no sun for about 9 months of the year. I think we need to give people an update on the little puppy. I think they need a pup date.
This is week 3 of having Eddie, the puppy, so that's going swimmingly. Yeah. Even if that's due to lack of sleep deprivation isn't something I do very well with, but we think we've cracked it now. So we've kicked all of the dogs out of the bedroom. So
except for me.
Except for Ken.
Yeah.
So none of them can sleep in the bedroom, which means they all sit outside. They cried for a little while, but actually it meant I got my first full night's sleep last night.
We've got scratch marks. We've got nails down the door. Basically, it scratched all of the woodwork.
Yeah, but that's we'll get there, and that's kind of our fault for letting them sleep in the bedroom in the first place. Yeah. So, but training's going well. So we've got sit is definitely done. I think. Yeah. We're now on wait and stay. Yeah. Recall is pretty good on the farm unless he's really into something, and then it still needs a little bit of work, but he's still really young, so I think it's going very well. And Masak is now playing with him, which is also very good, and he's learning all his cues from Masak and Mimosa. Mimosa's like a naughty little sister who gets very jealous. Yeah. So, but they've decided now is playtime, so maybe it's time to do some training if they've got some extra energy. Mimosa down. Good girl. Eddie sit. Good boy. Eddie down. Good boy. Masak doesn't have to sit because it takes him too long to sit because his hips are so sore. Eddie sit, Eddie sit, good boy.